Am I the asshole for dramatically running away from an intervention my mill threw for me? Husband 28 male and I 28 female live in Colorado. We love beer, and we live an active lifestyle, hiking, snowshoeing, skiing. No beer hits like a beer after climbing a 14er, and I love a glass of wine in the bath on a lazy Sunday afternoon. My mill loves to clean her kids' houses as a gift quarterly. This works because we're notoriously lazy, deep cleaners. This is important. A week ago, she asked to meet her at the park. I showed up to find a bizarrely socially distant group of my in-laws waiting for me with a box. She started, saying, "Kaylee, this is an intervention. We're here because we love you, etc." It was awkward and I got nervous. She opened the box and showed 3 empty bottles of wine and 2 full bottles of wine, plus an empty 16 ounces beer can. She looked at me pityingly and said, "Sweetie, I found your stash. I know you have a drinking problem." I was caught off guard and looked at the pile and it clicked. A few months ago the bathroom sink backed up and we were rushing around trying to clear things for the plumbers to take care of it. I must have shoved my empty wine bottles and a shower beer can in my closet. The full bottles were purposely hidden, because they were going to be Christmas gifts for my husband. I tried explaining everything and she put her hand on my shoulder and said, "I know it's hard to accept you have a problem, but everyone here is here because we love you. Look, I drink a beer with dinner or after work a few times a week, a beer or 2 at a brewery not lately, OBV with friends, and occasionally have some wine while taking a bath. I haven't even had a hangover since college." Then she smashed the wine bottles that were for my husband, saying it's for my own good. I started yelling at her that they were presents, she just looked me in the eye and did it again. So I ran back to our house sobbing. She called, left messages saying I can't hide from my problem, and that she would be talking to my husband about sending me away for detox. She was tired of me hurting everyone by forcing my choices on everyone, i.e., not giving her grandkids, the one sore spot between us I thought she'd gotten over. She didn't explain to my husband what the stash was, just that she found one, and he turned on me for running away from the intervention, saying that made me look guilty as hell. I felt so alone. The issue became that I made myself seem guilty by running. My husband understands what happened now, but he's told me that I need to find a way to put it all behind and maybe just not drink around his family for a while. I don't agree. I'm not going along with this. Fine, I won't drink around his family, but I'm not apologizing for running away when I felt scared and cornered, and I'm absolutely not copping to a drinking problem when I don't have one. Am I the asshole for not just going along with this to make everyone happy? I feel like I'm going crazy. ETA, holy moly, I posted this when I was stressed to the max and then went for an 8-mile run to try to shake it off. I'm crying reading all of this because with everyone telling me how bad I was so scared that I did something horrible. I'm reading every comment so everyone knows. I'll try to respond to some. Thank you so much for the votes. Even the ones telling me what I did wrong. Thank you, just, thank you. ETA2, sorry but I felt I needed to update saying that some guy Ask Goblins from a channel called Ask Goblin sent me a chat to ask me for permission to use it for his YouTube channel. I mean the guy can do whatever he wants, but I think this is a low-level way of scraping money from people who post here to exploit them, and it felt wrong that he chatted me and didn't comment. Also his account has no comments or posts. ETA3, OMG, I never thought I'd have to address the concept of a shower beer. Maybe this is a Colorado thing, but when you have a long, active day climbing or hiking or snowshoeing or whatever, the best reward is cracking a cold one in a hot shower or bath. It's not weird lol, most of the people I know do it.
Couple things. 1. Interesting, and telling, that she threw an intervention without your husband involved. That means she knows it's shady. Or it means something else, which is both shitty and shady. 2. Why assume that stuff was yours? Why not her son's? Why not both of yours? 3. That, loves to clean her kids' houses, is a trap. She's snooping. It's an excuse. I've heard it many, many times. Not the asshole, for sure. Yet, I would start asking some questions if I were you.
I wouldn't apologize. 2 bottles is hardly a stash. She's just way out of line. She could have asked you privately about it. But but jumping to conclusions and involving the whole family is just a dick move. IMO. Talk to your husband about how you feel alone and wronged and see what he has to say. The mill is just ridiculous for blowing this out of proportion.
Not the asshole. That's incredibly toxic, and it's going to be a long road to come back from being so betrayed and gaslit. Your husband should be supporting you, not allowing her to intervene in your marriage that way, and you both should move away from her or at least turn down her offers to help in the future, because it's just cover for snooping. How did she know that wasn't your husband's stash?
And don't buy your husband those bottles of wine again for his gift. Give him an empty gift bag designed to hold wine with a note saying ask your mother where the bottles are. And hire a house cleaner if you must, but don't let that woman touch anything in your house ever again. And change your locks. Somebody that controlling will have a copy made before she gives hers back. I am so sorry. Not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Change your locks and don't let her in your house ever again.
Not the asshole. Both your mill and husband are major awes. It's really odd that she scheduled this intervention without speaking to him first. And your husband should be 100% backing you up here and running interference with his family. Throw the entire family in the trash. Not the asshole. Jesus fucking Christ. Get away from everyone, husband included.
You definitely do have a problem, a mill problem. Even if you did have a drinking problem, that intervention is not how you go about it. Wrong on so many levels. Your husband really needs to tell his family they were out of line, not tell you not to drink in front of his family. They'll think they were in the right when they notice you're not drinking. They will notice. Not the asshole. Also, no more mill deep cleans, which honestly sounds like a beautiful excuse for snooping with permission. Free house cleaning isn't free. No more free access to your house. She needs to get in her lane, not acting like you're her little kids. She owes you an apology before she sets foot in your house. Your husband needs to choose, is he mommy's lil boy or your husband? If husband, he better step in to defend you from this BS.
Not the asshole. She's trying to drive a wedge in between you and your partner. Info needed. Has anyone said anything to you before about having a problem? Sidebar, your mill sounds petty about the grandkids issue.
Not the asshole. I'd go scorched earth here. Time to burn some fucking bridges op.
Info. Have you asked your husband if he thinks you have a drinking problem? Asking you to not drink around his family makes it seem like he thinks you have a problem. Ask him to be completely honest with you. In my experience, most alcoholics deny they have a problem and contend they are only social drinkers. If your husband really considers your drinking to be a problem, listen to him. Oh, and tell him to ask his mother for his Xmas present this year.
Not the asshole. That was ridiculous of her to stage an intervention without even speaking to you or her son first. But what's worse to me is your husband's behavior. Honestly, he should have your back. Good luck with this.
This is the sort of thing that could drive someone into having a drinking problem if they didn't before. Also a ridiculous way of confronting someone about a couple wine bottles in a closet. Not the asshole.
Alcoholics usually don't have alcohol in the house for long. If she had concerns, she should have talked to you or your husband first. Your husband knows you and lives with you. He would know if something was up. He should have stood up for you. You're not the asshole.
Not the asshole, and honestly, you need a break from your mill, and if she has a key she should return it. Better yet, change the locks. I do not agree with your husband's stance, and why was none of this directed at him? Honestly, your mill is the R, as his your husband for not having your back.
A beer can and 5 bottles of wine are a stash and a problem. Like, that it's 1/6 of wine we have in our home at all time. Not the asshole, by the way.
Not the asshole, and it's incredible that your husband isn't taking your side. Not the asshole, and no need to worry about drinking around them because you shouldn't go near them. And F your husband. He should be furious on your behalf.
Absolutely not the asshole, but your husband sounds like a giant one for not getting straight on the phone to his mother to explain to her just how wrong she got it and insist that she apologize to you and make sure everybody else that she falsely told you had a drinking problem is corrected. By asking you to not drink around his family, he is making the matter worse. He is allowing his mother to believe she is right and continue spouting her BS. Sorry if that sounds harsh, but I genuinely just got so mad on your behalf. Not the asshole. Your husband needs to back you up and not blame you. That looking guilty shit is BS. They owe you an apology. You do not need to modify your behavior or placate their amateur psychology bullshit diagnosis.
Not the asshole. But that judgment isn't going to help you. You're going to have to put up with his mother and the rest of your in-laws believing they were right, justified, and believing you have a problem for the rest of your life. It sounds like, because your husband doesn't seem interested in setting the record straight, and I doubt they'll apologize. It sounds like she may want to harass you into having children eventually or something. IDK, but I'd definitely think long and hard about if you can handle a lifetime of this nonsense.
Okay, I only got one question for you. What's a shower beer can? I'm leaning strong, not the asshole, even if you did have a drinking problem. To ambush you in a park like that is just a dumb way to intervene. Seriously. She doesn't know how Google works. She shouldn't have gotten her entire family to gang up on you. Your husband should have been there. Friends should have been included, etc. And don't smash glass bottles in a fucking park. Jeez.
Not the asshole. Not drink around his family? How about not be around his family? Her actions were insane, especially the bottle smashing part. She acted on an assumption. She just assumed she was right and didn't consider any other explanations. I would send her a bill for the value of the wine she smashed. But don't buy your husband more wine. Treat yourself to something nice.
I would also tell her, your crazy behavior has me second-guessing having kids. We need to stage a medical intervention to have you tested for psychological disorders. I need to know what I'm working with genetically and what you could pass on to my future kids with your husband. Follow it up with a list of her erratic, overbearing behavior in detail over the years. Make sure to have it the same park, and as she walks up, unroll the massive banner that says, Intervention Susan, It's Always Sunny style. Do not invite your husband. Then suggest they all get over it. Maybe suggest in future family gatherings she not say crazy shit around the family. Then win.
Not the asshole. If your husband is going to take his mom's side, divorce him. Do not let this woman in your house ever again. Your husband should be supporting you, and it seems he knew about the intervention, so why was he not present? Maybe because he knows you don't have a problem? You need to speak to him about how you feel and how ring his family was. They owe you an apology. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If she has a key to your house, change your locks. Refuse to let her in your house unattended.
NTA. And wow, I would bet dimes to dollars that your husband knew she was going to do this. His behavior is just too off.
Not the asshole. And is your mill aware of a thing called a wine cellar? I know it's crazy, but people sometimes build entire rooms for their wine stash. I'm sorry this happened to you, and your mill sounds really annoying and intrusive. I would immediately refund her ability to deep clean.
Not the asshole. Wow, they suck. And at this point, if your husband doesn't have your back, he's an ass too. Tell him he can go live with his mommy. And she is never allowed in the house again.
Not the asshole. Oh hell no, get your husband into marital counseling, this is not okay. Not the asshole. If she genuinely thought you had a problem or even cared about you, why would she not even speak to her son, your husband, about it? I mean, she invited all these other people but not him? Honestly, I would cut off a lot of communication with Mill. She humiliated you in front of the entire family and caused an issue between you and your husband. I don't see anything about this intervention being genuine.
Not the asshole, but your husband and his family are. Why are you with this guy? He didn't even try to stick up for you. I don't usually say, break it off, but WTF. They sprung an intervention on you, for no reason, and he got mad at you for leaving. I can't even wrap my mind about this.
Not the asshole, but I'm genuinely worried about your safety if your husband sees even an ounce of fault on your side. This is crazy of her and reeks of ulterior motives on both your husband's and your Mill's part. Just no Mill and just no so may have some support info you need.
Not the asshole. In fact, make yourself a shower sandwich to go with that beer.
Not the asshole, but I took two things from the story. 1. The gift of deep cleaning her kids' houses is in reality her excuse to snoop through your entire house. You need to stop that. Hire a cleaning person. 2. The fact that your husband was not told or invited to your intervention shows that it was an ambush, and not meant to help you.
My mom pulled some smellier shit a few years back, not spoken to her since.
Stop drinking around his family by stop being around his family. Ever. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Hell, I have 1 or 2 beers a day. Usually with dinner. And I'm definitely a fully functional, happy adult. If you admit to a problem now, they'll just hold it against you for later. You need to call her out on her bullshit and hold your ground. Demand an apology for her snooping and jumping to conclusions, and never let her in your house like that again. Not the asshole. Present Mill with an invoice for the broken wine, citing that she needs to repay you as they were your husband's Xmas present. Tell your husband that he needs to be on your side, or he's out. Your Mill is a malicious and horrible person. This intervention was not a kindness. I would wholeheartedly want revenge for this.
Not the asshole. What she did, trying to turn everyone against you, is a form of abuse. This wasn't an intervention, it was an attack. This is the point where all locks to the house are changed, Mill is banned from it, and you don't go to anything she's hosting again. If she's at a function or gathering, don't speak to her. Let it be known if anyone tries to force communication with her, you'll cut them off as well. Don't hesitate to say why. She made an intentional, vicious, disgusting attack that involved destroying gifts for your husband and spreading poisonous lies to anyone who would listen.
Your mother cleans your house. You let your house get dirty enough between cleanings that you just have multiple empty bottles of wine, empty beer cans, etc. laying about. Shower beer. I feel like there is a lot being left out of this story.
Not the asshole. You need to give your husband a swift kick in the rear here. His family ganged up on you over trash and Christmas gifts. Tell him you're more than happy to put it behind you if his mother never comes back over to snoop through your house, because that's what her cleaning is, and she apologizes first for breaking his Christmas gifts, because now he's not going to get any if he can't get his head out of his ass. He needs to have your back here.
Husband. More like mommy's boy.
Not the asshole. Call the police and make a report for the items she stole and destroyed. Secondly, insist your husband fully understands and backs you 100%. Thirdly, do not accept any blame or any guilt for this power trip attempt. Get yourself straight first, you did nothing wrong. Fight back, and come back at these people strong. This is literally my worst nightmare. It's a no-win scenario in which they believe something about you that nothing in your behavior can fix. I offer to you that studies have shown that if you behave as your normal self, everything will seem to confirm their expectations for between 3 weeks to a couple of months, but as you continue to have a happy, healthy, productive life, those expectations won't be met because you won't decline into a drunk stupor, or whatever it is they fear for you, and they will move on. Do not let them commit you. Do not tell them you have a problem when you don't. I'm so sorry, op. You're not the asshole. Hold your ground, try not to respond to them in anger but just with studied neutrality. Give them nothing.
Not the asshole, and I would feel like I was going crazy if I were in your situation. You have my sympathy. I do have a drinking problem, and when my friend held an intervention it was because she found fifths of whiskey hidden everywhere in my house. I had strategic stashes that meant I could down a shot or two from the bottle in under 30 seconds from anywhere in the house. Under the couch, behind books, in the bathroom, behind pots in the cupboard, 3 bottles in my bedroom alone. That is what an alcoholic does, you just forgot to throw out some recycling. Not the asshole. I don't even drink and I don't think that's much, especially since I have Christmas presents stashed away right now. Your husband, and his family need to apologize to you. I would go no contact and have your husband go to marriage therapy to see how damaging she is. She does not like you, and now that you're not giving her grandchildren, she's out to break you up. Also, change the locks and she doesn't get a key.